Alright, I'm contemplating making this video right now because it's not super late, but Mango's ready to sleep because he has to work early. And I came to my living room, hope not to wake him up, his door's shut, you know, so I'm still not trying to talk super loud, and I don't want to cut this at all, so I'm just gonna leave it raw footage. But today, my cousin picked me up because she wanted to go eat. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm down, whatever, come swoop. She came and swooped. We're just driving, and we just left my place, you know, just driving out, normal. Made a right turn, going towards In-N-Out, and we see this car parked in like halfway on the sidewalk because the street's a 2-lane road, but there's no shoulder. And so this car is like halfway parked on the sidewalk and halfway on the road. Like, okay, maybe they just pulled up just to park, right? And we didn't think anything of it. It was at a four-way, like right after a four-way stop. So we pulled up to the four-way stop, and she's like, what the is that? And I look up, and the whole street light is literally laying on the floor. And we pull up just a little more, get into the car. Airbags deployed, front bumper torn off, street light got rammed by this car, and I was like, no one was around. I was like, what the hell? So I told her stop. She stopped, and I just jumped out of the car real quick. And there's this, I go up to the car. There's like a little bit of smoke in there, so you can't really see that good. And I open the door. Well, I get closer to the car first, and there's this really old lady in there. Like, I'm like, what the, you know? So I just pulled the door open, and then by the time I pulled the door open, someone else had came behind us, and this got out of the car too. And this guy jumped in there with me, and he's like, what's going on? I'm like, dude, I just pulled up. Like, we saw the street light in the middle. The street light is literally laying in the middle of the road. You can't go past it, like, unless you want to run over a street light. And so this old lady's in there, and she's like, did I hit something? I'm like, yeah, you did. Her airbags were deployed, and there was a bunch of smoke in the car, so we pulled her out. You know, we're like, come on, you gotta get out. And at first she's like, huh? And then she looked at me, and she's like, I'm like, come on, let's get out. And so we got her out, and me and this guy were trying to help her because she could barely walk. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, what's going on? And so we got her out, and she's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm deaf. We're like, what? But she wasn't like literally deaf. Her hearing was just so bad because she told us she was 89. She's like, I'm 89 years old and I'm deaf. And I'm like, oh, okay, we got you. She's like, I can't hear that well at all. She's like, I gotta read your lips. But she was talking really slow because she was still like all shook. Her hand was bleeding a little bit, like right here. And we're like, what happened? She's like, oh, so I guess I gave it too much gas. Like, there was a car coming, and so I tried to swerve out of the way, and she ran right into the pole. But she was so shook, like just shaking and shaking, like, you know, like she literally did not know what just happened. I was like, dude, I felt so bad. Like, I don't know. I didn't even see who was in the car first. I just jumped off as soon as I saw a crashed car. And my cousin didn't know what to do because she's not like, she told me herself she doesn't know what to do when she sees things like that. And I've seen things like this before. So I just jumped off and helped her out. We got her out of the car, and then I started looking around because the guy had a flashlight. And it was just like a bunch of coolant that had spilled out, so it was just cooling all over the floor and getting a little bit like leaking out of the radiator, so it was just blowing up a bunch of steam. So it wasn't like the car was on fire or anything. But still, we wanted to get her out of there. You shouldn't be breathing coolant in the first place, especially when it's hot like that. It's not good for you. Don't breathe in coolant. But then, like, the people he was with, they came out of the car with him. Like, they finally came out of the car, and then, like, we literally got the whole street light from the floor, me and him, and then one other guy came, and we dragged the whole street light out of the street. It wasn't that heavy. I thought it was gonna be heavier. Bro, like, you know, like, what really happened? She's like, I don't know what to do. And the whole time she was sitting in there, apparently, she was trying to text her daughter, but she couldn't. I was like, wait, what? And, like, she just had a bunch of exclamation points, and I was trying to say her daughter's name, and I'm like, is this your daughter's phone number? She's like, yeah. So I just got her phone, and I called her daughter. She didn't answer. And she's like, I was just with her right now. We just had dinner. I'm like, okay, let me. And as soon as she didn't answer the phone, she wrote a text right away. She's like, Mom, were you trying to call me by accident? And I called her again. And she answered this time. She's like, hello. And I'm like, hello? She's like, what? Hello? Who's this? I'm like, I told her, I'm like, well, your mom kind of got in an accident right now, and I have her phone to call you because she was trying to get a hold of you, but she can't type right now because her hand's a little cut. She's like, what? She's like, what happened? And I told her, you know, like, mom's fine. She's a little shook up, but she ran into a pole, but she's okay. That's all that matters. She's okay. I'm like, we're right here. Gave her the street names. We're literally like at an intersection, right at an intersection before we stop. And I don't know, the lady was just so shook, and she couldn't communicate that well. She didn't know she was like so out of it. She didn't know what was going on. And so me and the other guy, and then I think it was his girlfriend and someone else they were with, we just stood right there the whole time, and we waited 30 minutes until her daughter came. But we didn't want to leave her, and I was like, and I didn't think about anything. I was really hungry at the time. That's why me and my cousin wanted to go to eat. But I didn't think about it the whole time. You know, I was just trying to be there for this older lady. And then a cop pulled up. We told her what happened. You know, she's just her. She got her license, got her registration, all that stuff. And yeah, we just hung out there until her daughter came. I told her, she's like, which one of you guys called? And I was like, oh, that was me. You know, I got your mom's phone because she was trying to get a hold of you and she couldn't really type. And she's like, she just grabbed me. She's like, thank you so much. I'm like, don't worry about it. You know, it's like, I said, I didn't tell her this, but I've seen this stuff before, so it's not the first time I've had to jump into action like that. But moral of the story is, if you see something like that, and you don't know what to do, the least you could do is just go up to them and ask them if they're okay, ask them if they need help. You know, it's not hard to be a good human being and ask someone if they need anything, you know. Because obviously this lady needed help, but I couldn't tell at first because I couldn't see who was in the car. And but yeah, just be there for one another, you know. Life's really short. Her mom was 89 years old and they just came from eating dinner together. So like, you know, it could happen to anyone you know, like it's one of your grandparents, one of your older relatives. You never know. And I was thinking too, when me and my cousin left, I'm like, man, if that was our grandma and someone wasn't there for her like that, I'd probably be pretty upset, you know. So I'm glad I was able to help someone out today. Moral of the story, Christmas, be there. Not even just around Christmas time though, be there for one another, help each other out, and don't be a prick. If you see someone who needs you, jump in. I think that's it. That's about it. Yeah, okay. 7 minutes already. See you guys later.
Got the eye of the